Unbelievable. Good morning time, good evening time, good afternoon time, whatever the case may be in this part of the world. And today, guys, I'm just going to start off with this real quick. And this is the last you're going to hear about this. But remember, I was telling you about the Chris Burning Wise channel? Well, I have confirmed without a doubt that it's definitely Barney Rubble. As I went back and checked out the channel, somebody said there's a few more videos up, and it's definitely Barney Rubble, because he even posted a video of himself rejoicing and dancing. You know, I guess that's a victory dance. I guess he feels like he's won. But if you guys ever wanted to know what Barney Rubble looked like, I told you he was a very small guy, and there he is. That's himself, and yeah, he's celebrating, I guess, his victory of trying to make me look bad. But anyway, watch out. Get out the way. Get out the way. That's it. Let me tell you guys what's going down, so you know what's happening. And this is the plan, fellas. Just so you know, because people ask me what I'm doing with that stuff, and I thought it was obvious what I was doing with it because of the title. But anyway, those parts that I posted. Wait a minute, let me switch this light off of motion so it stays on. Shoot. Okay, there it is. Otherwise it will cut off while I'm out here, even though I'm moving. But okay, so the parts that I posted is because, as I've tried to explain, I have enough parts to build 2 bomber bikes. As most of you guys know, maybe some of the new subs don't, but I had a bomber build that was my baby. I love that bike. I was gonna make that an all-out race bike. Somebody bought that bike. It wasn't for sale, but somebody made me an offer that I couldn't refuse, so I sold it. So with the proceeds from that sale, I was able to buy enough parts to build 2 bikes. So one bike is going to be what I'll call a stock bomber bike, which not really stock, but it will be exactly like the bike I sold, as far as the basics, the controller, the battery, the QS273, same frame, everything else. So it will be completely that without any extra race upgrades. All right. And the second bike is going to be my all-out racing bike. On the second bike, I'm going to throw as much speed mods as I can at that bike. You know, I'm a push that QS273 to the max. So I was debating on what type of controller I wanted to use, and I was down to Far Driver or ASI. I really wanted to go with Far Driver, but here's the dilemma. The 2 Far Driver models that I want to use, because I'm thinking about running voltages as high as maybe 108, maybe even beyond, but definitely up to 108. I may just skip by the 96 and go to 108, because as I explained in a lot of other videos, I want to run a high voltage system because high voltage systems draw less current. Less current produces less heat and less wear and tear on everything else. Also helps with battery range. If you're going to go about speed using a high output controller that drawing a lot of amps or using a hella DC line amps, that is going to eat up pretty much any battery, no matter how good and how big a battery you build. If you build a nice big battery, but yet you got a controller sucking 300-400 line amps and 800-900 phase amps, you're going to eat through battery quick, fast, in a hurry. Now, the ultimate goal for speed is watts. And as I've said on a lot of occasions, everybody knows the formula for power. Amps times volts equals watts. Now, you can increase either of those two variables, whether it be the amps, which most people go with the amps, which is a good way to go, but it's expensive. Like I said, it requires a huge battery. It requires most of the time running either no BMS or a high output BMS, which they do sell, but they are hard to source. You know, you need a 300-400 amp BMS, and yeah, they sell them, but you know, why deal with all that? So, you know, before I put a 300 or 400 amp BMS on a battery like that, a high output battery, I would just run it, you know, with no BMS as far as on the discharge side. Anyway, back to why I want to use high voltage, because using high voltage will still give you watts on the end of the equation. Like I said, you can increase them both. You increase them both, then you in Mad Max territory. But I just want to go with a high voltage system. Still will be a decent amount of amps, but not a crazy amount of amps where you gotta have 1-aught cables and all that because you drawing all them damn amps. So I'm going the other way with the volts, and that's why I wanted to go with Far Driver. Far Driver makes two models of controllers, to my knowledge, that can handle up to 128 volts. Okay, but those two model controllers are two of their biggest controllers. And biggest meaning cost-wise biggest, and meaning amp-wise biggest, and also the physical size of that controller. They're huge. So we all know a bomber frame like that one over there. I mean, you got plenty of room in there, but you ain't got that much room for one of them huge controllers. So the form factor, if I can find another controller that can handle high voltage with a decent amount of amps, that's what I'm going to go with. So right now I'm kind of stuck on still researching what type of controller I'm going to put on the race bike. But you know, I got some time to do that. Now, if anybody got any suggestions, feel free to drop them in the comment section, because I surely don't know everything as far as products and, you know, new products that may be out that I'm not aware of. So listen, if you guys know or have any tips on some different controllers, you know, put me down. I'm not going to say price is not a factor, but price is always a factor, and I'm cheap, Charlie. But if I'm willing to buy a Far Driver or ASI, I'm pretty much willing to buy whatever's necessary. Like I said, this is going to be my race bike, and I'm getting down on that by any means necessary philosophy. So that's where we at. Like I said, I threw one of those bomber bikes together as far as the frame, you know, put the wheels on and the bars and everything on. So I'm going to throw the guts up in there. I may do a live video doing that or whatever. But I told you guys, the first bike I'm just going to throw together. I wasn't interested in filming it because filming it slows me down big time. To stop and make sure the camera's showing this and showing that, man, that shit takes time. And I'm trying to get this bike up and running quick, fast, in a hurry. So maybe I'll show little tidbits, little, you know, here and there. But like I'm trying to tell you, the race bike that I'm going to build, just stand by. I plan to show that build in detail, step by step, frame by frame, screw by screw, all of that. So that's what it is. As far as the Sur-Ron. The Sur-Ron, as I told you guys the other day, I found out I was expecting way too much from this Kelly controller. I thought this controller was capable of more amps than what it is. I found out that little small Kelly is only capable of 120 line amps. I don't know why I was thinking that controller could handle up to 200 line amps. Initially, like I told you, this is supposedly the higher model of that model controller as far as it handling more power and more current. That's why it's got those double phase wires on it and double, you know, positive and negative wires, them two 8 gauges in parallel, which basically 4 gauge phase wires and power wires on it. So I thought that controller was a little more capable of that than that and had a smaller form factor. But honestly, Sabaton 72150 will run circles around that damn thing. So I may just throw a Sabaton 72150 on there, call it a day. This will be a 72 volt Sur-Ron, and that will be enough. It will definitely beat the hell out of a stock Sur-Ron all day long. So that's, you know, that's enough. I don't plan to spend a lot of money on this bike because I didn't spend a lot of money on getting this bike anyway. So I'm trying to get away with as, you know, little as possible on this build. So I'm also ordering a wrap kit for this bike. I'm going to make sure everything is sprayed and painted as best it can be. You know, a very good paint job with clear coat and all that. Then I'm going to put a wrap kit on it. I'm going to put some nice, you know, some nice peripherals on it and make it look nice. Like I said, I'm deciding on which wrap kit I'm going to put on it. They got all kinds, but I'm going to wrap it. And then most likely I'm going to sell this bike. I was going to say that I'll keep it for trail riding and jumping and all that. But look, man, honestly, how much of that am I going to actually do? Now, they got good trail riding down here, but I'm just not into that. That's a young person's thing, and my old ass ain't going to be out there jumping no ramps and dirt hills and all that shit. So I'm going to fix it up. I'm going to sell it. But let me tell you this, be forewarned. I've already had people offering me, you know, money for this bike. And let's just say, I don't know why when you tell people, you know, you got a good deal on something, they expect that you're going to, you know, continue that good deal. Now, what people fail to realize is, yeah, I got a good deal on this bike, but I bought it without a battery. You know what I'm saying? I bought it without a battery, and I had to travel 2 hours away to get this bike. So, yeah, there's that. I had somebody offer me and honestly, I wouldn't even take that ride for $100. Not only that, you guys seen I've already done some work on this bike. Now, even though that's just switching out a controller and modifying the battery. But you take a bike to a certified shop or a technician somewhere and tell him, look, I want you to modify this battery to fit this bike, and then I want you to rewire a whole different type of controller up for this bike, and find out what that's going to cost you. So yeah, I will not be just giving this bike away because I got a good deal on it. I'm putting work into the bike, and I'm going to spend money on the bike. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm still messing with Smokey Suron's bike over here. Just getting the regen, well, not the regen, the e-brake set up properly is a pain in the buttocks, because Kelly is just a pain in the buttocks period with everything. But trying to make the little final adjustments, the parameters in the Kelly app, you know, it's a lot of back and forth, a lot of trial and error. And right now it's no big deal, but I'm having an issue trying to tune the e-brake separately from the regen. As I told you, regen and e-brake are two different things. But for some reason, when I tune how many amps I want for the e-brake, is changing the amps on the regen, and that should be two separate things. And that's exactly what it is. I just haven't figured out how to do it exactly in this Kelly app. Like I said, my first time dealing with this Kelly controller, and you know, the programming is a little bit of trial and error. So I'm still fiddling around playing with that. And man, I'm just trying to do a whole lot of stuff all at once, and it's just me. So bear with me. I appreciate all you guys just sticking around, but trust and believe it's gonna be worth it. I'm gonna be putting out some really good videos as far as the content wise, you know, what I'm doing in those videos. I think that's why people come check me out, because I'm trying to show how you can modify and do things. As far as my video, you know, them being entertaining and good as far as the visual effects and editing stuff, that is something else I'm going to try to work on. You know what I mean? I want my videos to be high quality. I want to start doing, you know, dropping little edits and stuff in there to make them a little more entertaining. But up until this point, like I said, my videos have been raw, R-A-W, because they weren't about being entertaining. They were about learning and teaching. So if I can incorporate the entertaining part, hopefully that can get my subs up a little bit, and you know, we can grow this channel a little bit. All right, y'all, so that's where we at. Take it easy, take care. Y'all know what it is. It's a Crooked Finger production. It's Friday. I'm about to come out here in the lab and get busy, probably working on this bomber bike. So stay tuned and see what's going on. All right, y'all, peace. We out.